How could your company, organization, or team benefit if it was even safer to fail? What I usually hear is that there would be more creativity, more innovation, take more calculated risks, and even bring in bigger deals, as well as create a culture where you could be more authentic and have more confidence. Would you like to work at this kind of place? I know I would. However, creating a culture where it is this safe to fail isn't necessarily easy. And that's why we're going to dive into failure today and talk about how do we make these failures glorious. I'm Josh Lenn. I'm originally from San Francisco, California. I've been living in Stockholm for 15 years, so I'm basically Swedish now. And I run a company called Bold and Confident, and that's what I'm passionate about, is helping people, teams, and work cultures be more bold and confident. And failing gloriously is really the core of my work. I like to say that I'm passionate about failure, which sounds absurd, but the truth is I have a huge fear of failure, and that is why I love doing this work, because I need the constant reminder of how important it is to really dare to fail. And I love to pass this work forward. I have a bit of an unconventional background because I'm also an actor. So maybe you've seen me in a mediocre TV series on SVT or Netflix, or in one of your favorite video games, or on stage. I perform theater all the time, all over Stockholm, and I have a passion for improvised theater. So I like to say that I bring the best of what I've learned as an actor to groups like you to help you be more creative, collaborative, bold, confident, and fun. All right, this session should be fun. That doesn't mean it's going to be comfortable. I am going to push you all out of your comfort zones in a loving way, I like to say, because that's where all the good stuff happens. That's where we grow, learn new tools, dare to fail. In order to do that today, we need to make this like the safest room in the universe and really support each other and have each other's backs. So I'm asking you, can we support each other? Yes, all right, I felt that. I even felt that from you. Definitely, I'm loving this energy. Now I want to ask you, all of you are on teams, including the leaders. You're on teams and you're on management teams. And I'd love it, in your opinion, what are the qualities of a highly productive team, an amazing team? Just yell them out. Great, so I heard trust, communication, collaboration, fun, love that, passion, ambition, diversity, inclusion, safety, daring, love it. These are amazing qualities. Now, I want to ask you, have you heard of Project Aristotle? Project Aristotle was a study that Google did about 8-10 years ago. Google really wanted to figure out what makes a highly productive team. Is it the people? Is it the tools? What is the secret sauce that makes this team productive so they could spread it throughout Google? And they studied 180 teams of their most high-performing teams globally. They put a lot of time and money into this. And they found there was one key factor far above anything else that made the difference in a high-performing team. Do you know what it is? Psychological safety. And a huge part of this is that people felt safe to fail in front of each other without being afraid of being made fun of or punished. And when I heard about this study, I was like, yes, I really resonated with this, especially with my experience in theater, is we don't look at failure as a problem. We see it as an opportunity, and we fail gloriously. And when teams, groups, or ensembles, whatever constellation you work in, can adopt this mindset, it can totally transform the way we work because we create so much safety. And that's when we can bring our most big, bold, creative self to the table. And that's what I want for all of you, not just during this session, but beyond, is to create more safety in your teams and in your workplace, because it's truly a superpower. Now, in order to do that, we have to fail. All right, everyone is going to fail today in a very low stakes way, and we are going to love it. We're going to celebrate it, like full body celebrations. Is it going to feel awkward? Yes. Are we going to do it anyways? Yes, we are, because that is going to help us reframe failure, which is Act 1 of this 3-act session. Act 1 is to reframe failure. See it as a gift, and we're going to celebrate it instead of punishing, shaming, blaming what we normally do with failure. We need to learn how to love it. Then in Act 2, we're going to talk about the power of sharing failure stories. And these stories are often packed full of lessons and ways to help us grow and learn. And we're going to share some of these during the session and really see the benefits of doing it. And then Act 3 is we are going to have a creative explosion. Yes, that is what I'm promising you. We're going to do all that in an hour and a half. And the reason why we need to reframe failure and celebrate it is because we're often hard on themselves. Is there anyone here who's hard on themselves? Yeah, me too. I can actually be brutal to myself. I can be my own worst enemy and really beat myself up when I fail. And celebrating failure can often alleviate that inner critic right away and allow us to be a little bit bigger and bolder. That is why we're going to do exercises where we practice failing and reacting differently to it. And this work came into my life when I was about 19 years old. For the very first time, I took a class in improvised theater. And for those of you who don't know what it is, it's theater without a script. So you need to be very daring. You need to jump on stage and say, here's my idea, here's my character. It's very vulnerable work. And I took a class in San Francisco when I was 19 years old. And I remember coming to the class, and there were about 15 people, all different ages. And I remember walking in the room, and I felt terrified. The room felt really cold, and I just wanted to go home because I was so afraid to be terrible in front of these people and fail and be judged. And then the teacher walked in, this wonderful, playful woman from San Francisco named Laura Derry. And she came in and she said, in this class, if you fail, you can take a failure bow and say, I failed, and everyone is going to cheer for you. And I was like, what? I've never heard of anything like this. I was 19, I was in university. If you fail, you're a loser, and everyone's upset with you. So a few minutes later, she was giving instructions to an exercise, and she made a mistake. And with so much enthusiasm, she said, I failed. And we looked at each other and we were like, yeah. And we started cheering for her, and it felt so awkward. But what started happening in that class is we started throwing ourselves on stage. We were so brave and so daring. Did we fail? Yes. And we got a standing ovation for it. And we talked about it and turned it into an amazing learning. And the class felt exhilarating. It was one of the most exhilarating times of my life. I felt so creative, and the room wasn't cold anymore. It warmed up big time. And the work in that class went like this. We all got so much better so fast because we had created this environment where it was safe to fail, and we celebrated the failures and instantly turned them into learning. And this is why we're doing it today. This is what's at stake for you. If you can give each other this level of support and create this at your work culture, sky's the limit. Everyone will be able to see what is your actual potential. You will take more risks. You will bring more creativity to your work, and you will also have a lot more fun. So we're going to ride this through during the whole session. We're going to support each other, and we are going to fail gloriously. Over the years, I've worked for very innovative companies like Spotify and Netflix. And I've also worked with very traditional companies like Atlas Copco, If Försäkring, Apoteket. And I'm always surprised to see how it is relevant for so many different industries. During this day and age, I think everyone has really realized how important it is to create a culture that has psychological safety. And not just learn about psychological safety, but also experience it. Because then people can show up to work more authentically, they can have more fun, and they'll want to come in the next day. So I think so many different companies find this relevant. Also, even if you are a traditional company, in this business climate, you need more creativity, you need to innovate if you're going to deal with this uncertain business landscape. So I believe this talk is relevant to so many different industries, and I've tried about almost all of them, and it seems to work. What I often hear distinguishes me as a speaker is my energy, authentic passion, and playfulness. I love to have fun. And I think one of the differences about my talk is it's an interactive keynote. So I involve everybody right from the start. And one of my strengths is that I'm able to get a huge group of people out of the comfort zone. And once they get there, they're like, whoa, it's fun here. And when you go through that experience together, everyone feels like proud and excited to be a part of what's going on. Yes, you walk away with a few different concrete tools during the speech. One is you learn how to handle failure better. You learn how to reframe it, and you learn how to create an environment where we dare to fail and share failures. And there's a whole process around that. Two, you're going to have more ideas, like concrete ways you can create more psychological safety in your teams after this session. And three, you're going to create a vocabulary that really allows you to collaborate and create together on a higher level. And you're not only going to just learn about the vocabulary, you're going to actually put it into use during the session. So everyone is going to be able to use it and reference it moving forward. Whenever I'm meeting with a company that's considering booking me, I ask them, if we were going to run this session and it had the perfect Disney movie ending, how would you like people to walk away? And what I often hear is full of energy and inspiration, feeling more together as a team, and with concrete tools. And those are things I feel very confident I can deliver. My session is so interactive and so full of energy, and we're doing exercises that bring a lot of joy and laughter out of people, is what happens at your event is afterwards, anyone feels like I can go up to anyone and talk to them. I don't feel like I need to sit with my friends or in my normal comfort zone. During dinner, I'll sit with these people I don't normally work with and get to know them. And when you can break down barriers like that, you create an environment where everyone feels like they're part of one company. And that is going to lift your event and make it feel much more exciting that you made this investment to bring everyone together and you actually cashed in on building all these great relationships and having that wonderful, inspiring feeling. If you don't want creativity, innovation, or psychological safety, then don't book me. Both. My speech is really centered around a study called Project Aristotle. This was a study that Google did about finding the key ingredients of a high-performing team. And this really is what I use to open up the session to get people kind of formed around the idea that psychological safety is absolutely vital to create, and how important is failure in that ingredient. So that is the research that's used. And then it's also based on a lot of personal experience around how I experience failing gloriously and tools that I use from my background that help us create more safety, more creativity, and more innovation. Ja, jag pratar svenska. Gud, jag älskar att prata svenska. Men jag säger swinglish, inte Swedish. Men jag har bott här länge, så det går bra om alla pratar svenska. And I speak English. I've done that in many different places. I teach at Stockholm School of Economics in the executive leadership programs that are all in Swedish. I'm the only English facilitator. And everyone speaks Swedish, och jag bländar in svenska ibland. Och jag har också jobbat på apoteket. Och jag gillar att fela på svenska. Gud, vilken bra förebild y'all can be failing gloriously.